Okay, this morning is April the 16th of 25, and we're back at the Brush Creek Trailhead down on the Ozark Highland Trail, still more section. And this is where we finished up here about a week ago, coming over from Crippled Turkey. And we're going to take off start the next section that runs from here up to the Twin Creek crossing up on Highway 341, probably about 4 or 5 miles up the road. So anyhow, we're going to get started here this morning. It's about 7:45. Looks like it's going to be a nice day, highs up in the 60s, maybe low 70s. So I'm got ready here and finished getting my gear together. We'll get started. See you in a few. Okay, starting this hike, we got to come up here and cross Highway 341 or Poosh Mountain Road. And the trail takes off here on the other side. I'll start. Well, it looks like we're going to do a downhill right off the bat here. Not hiked this section of trail before, so this will be a learning experience as we go. Yeah, this will be do this coming from the other direction, or do it as a out and back or anything where you come back out this way. It's going to be a steep little climb at the end, nothing real horrible, but hopefully it's not going to be real long this way. This route today could have a fair amount of climbing on it. It looks like from the maps that you go back here and have to climb a ridge line and then follow the ridge line on up to the north. And when you get to the other end to go down back to 341, there's a series of looks like 7 or 8 switchbacks that you have to go down that are marked on the map as being fairly steep. Okay, now it's leveling down a little bit. All right, looks like we're gonna start winding our way through the woods. I'll shut the camera off here and catch you in a few. Okay, I just wanted to capture this. Got a left turn blaze here on the tree. Looks like we're gonna go skirt around the edge of this valley here, down below us on the right. The trees are starting to leaf out pretty good, so its views are going to be a little more limited right now. And through the summer, in the fall or in springtime with leaf off, you would have a better view. You can kind of get a shot through here. I have a feeling we're going to curve around and get up on that ridge you can see in the distance, and that's where we'll be going through, up there somewhere. So anyhow, well, we can, it's like the trail's just gonna wind along this hillside here. Yeah, you can see it going on through. So I'll shut the camera off here for a few minutes and catch you in a little bit. Okay, looks like we're going to drop down off the hillside here and down into the valley for a little ways. So it's got a little bit of a limb here, but not much of one. Okay, and we're back down on the level for ways. So I'll shut the camera off and see you in a few. Okay, thought I'd capture just a little bit more of the trail as we're winding along the hillside here. Okay. Well, there is an old road that runs right up here to our left along here, and we are just below that road for a good ways here, and then eventually the trail breaks off from it. But right now, that's what that's showing there. There's the, you can get up to that old road here, but here's your trail going on straight. It's been a good trail so far. It's had a few ups and downs, but nothing too severe. Okay, well, you can see the trail going on ahead. I'll shut the camera off for a while and catch you in a few. Okay, well, here we, looks like we come upon a little turn here in the trail. And we're going to go uphill for a little ways now. Well, not too much. Looks like it's leveling back out along the side of the hill. Yeah. Well, you can see the drop off down here to your right, down into the little valley down there. So, and there's the trail ahead. I'll shut the camera off for a few. See you in a little bit. Okay, here comes a little ravine crossing. And uphill for a little bit. I will say this for the folks used to hiking down here in Arkansas. We're here at the end of April, or toward the end of it, and I have felt a few light spider webs across the trail. Now, as everyone who hikes down here knows, give it another month or two and they'll get pretty thick. But right now it's like they're just starting out. They've been little ones so far. Up and around a couple switchbacks. Okay, well, on we go. So far, this trail hasn't had too many opportunities where you could get off of it. It's been a good, clear trail so far. I'll set the camera off here for a few minutes and see you in a little bit. Okay, turn the camera on here for a minute. Catch this next curve we have coming up. If you look down here, let me walk over to the side here just a little bit. Yeah. You can look down there and see down into there's a stream flowing down there somewhere. Sounds like a little waterfall anyhow. Oh, I see it. Maybe we'll get over on the other side, be able to pick it up better. There we go. Okay, I'll set the camera off here for a minute. Catch you in a few. This is probably the stream that makes that little waterfall on down to our right. Looks like the trail goes up and goes to the left though, so where we were at is probably the best view of that little waterfall. Anyhow, as you can see the trail ahead, I'll shut the camera off and catch you in a few. Okay, come up the hill for a ways there. Now we got to switch back to the right. Okay, there's the trail going on ahead. I'll shut the camera off and see you in a little bit. Okay, here we come into a small little ravine crossing. Looks like the trail will break away to the right here coming out of it. Yeah, and you can see the trail on ahead. So I'll shut the camera off and get you in a few. Okay, well, we made it up a decent grade there. It wasn't overly steep, but it was reasonably long. We've come out the other side of that now and working our way back along pretty much a level spot. I think we're not too far away up here from making a right turn and heading along the ridge toward the old north or northeast, somewhere like that. So we've been on the trail about 55 minutes. So we made pretty good time on it. Again, it's a pretty good trail. Not many places you can get off of it, so you don't have to watch the blazes quite as close as on some of the others. There is some uphill, but it hasn't been horrible so far. Now, I reserve the right to change my opinion about that, depending on what's ahead of me. So, okay, well, you can see the trail ahead of us. I'll shut the camera off and catch you in a few. Hey, we're coming up on a sharp right turn, which is kind of what I was hoping for. I guess that we were getting close to that, and turn and go to the right now a little bit more. So, again, still a really good trail. And again, not too many places you can take a wrong turn. They do have it blazed fairly well, but there's not too many places you can miss it. Okay, well, see the trail going on ahead of us, and I just walked through another cobweb, and I'll shut the camera off and catch you in a few. Okay, I thought I'd turn the camera on for a minute. We're still trucking along the trail up here, right along the top of the ridge just about. Looks like we're gonna go down and maybe climb a little. So, we're making okay time. The only thing that's maybe a bother on this trail is it is very rocky. I mean, all trails down here are, but this one has more than its share, let's put it that way. So you do have to kind of watch your footing, wear your good boots. But you can see ahead on the trail, and there's weeds and stuff growing up and starting. You give this another 2 or 3 weeks and it's going to get pretty overgrown back in here. Anyhow, so I'll shut it off for now, catch you in a few. This little intersection, and just quickly, if you look straight ahead, there's a blaze on that tree going down that old road that way. So we're going to head that way, head straight when you hit this intersection. See you later. Okay, we're back on the Ozark Highland Trail, the Sycamore section from Brush Creek to Twin Creek. Last week I came up to here from the Brush Creek side, and I didn't feel like doing it all the way out and back loop. So I turned around here, and this morning's the 21st of April, and I hiked up from the Twin Creek side and got back up here, and now I'll film this going down. I'm kind of glad I waited. One of the things I did learn is that this summit here, if you want to call it that, the Forest Service shows on their map to be 1,407 feet. And that's about what I got on my altimeter too, on my GPS. But I didn't realize until I was looking that it may not be the highest, but it's one of the highest summits in the Leatherwood Wilderness, or anything down here along Pooch Mountain Road pretty much. So anyhow, it is a little bit of a high point, albeit a minor one. If you were here during leaf off, there's a wonderful valley out here in front. You could see out and see through, but not with leaf on. So anyhow, so it took me 55 minutes to get up here from the trailhead. Now this trail from here down to Twin Creek is a little different. There's some really good trail following an old road, and then there's where you drop off and start going down steeply down the hillside, and there's I don't know, 6 or 7 switchbacks down there. It's steeper and a little ruggeder. You gotta watch your footing. You could trip and fall pretty easy. And to add to it today, why, we had rain last night, and so the rocks and dirt, of course, is muddy and damp, so you got to kind of watch your footing a little bit. If you come up from the Brush Creek side, this is where we came up last week, was right through this curve here. And don't miss it. If you want to go to the high point, keep on up a little further. But this is where the trail goes off that goes down to Twin Creek. So anyhow, I shut the video off for a minute, get my GPS tracker started, and we'll be ready to go. See you in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go and start filming a little bit of this trail as we start down. This they show as having once been an old road, and I guess it was at one time, but it's very little of the road left. But it does make for a better trail. Again, rocky like everything down here. But going to watch for a point on the way back. I know up there at the top we weren't able to get much of a view out across toward the White River, but down here a ways there is a spot. There's a break in the trees and you can get a pretty good shot. I'll try and make sure and get a video of that on the way through. Okay, so we're starting down at about, and it says 8:58. Let's say 9 o'clock or 8:55, I guess, since we've been on the way for a couple minutes. This will complete this section of the OHT from Brush Creek to Twin Creek. And that leaves me one section left to do. I've got to make that section from Twin Creek up to Matney Ridge, where it hooks into 341 up just below Matney Knob. I've already got the Matney Knob video out, but so I'll have one more section to do to complete this whole section of the Sycamore District Trail of the OHT. But it's a couple spots I wouldn't mind going back and doing a little better. That Spring Creek to Moccasin Springs, I might go back down and get the last mile and a half that I failed to get any video on. And then I wouldn't mind going back to Moccasin Springs over to Crippled Turkey, and where I had that segment that I got something on my lens and it's blurry the last half of that hike. I wouldn't mind getting that. Okay, well, you can see the trail ahead of us. I'm going to shut the camera off and we'll catch you in a few. Okay, we've been trucking down the old road for a while here, and there are some blazes along it telling you to stay straight. But this is what you want to watch for coming up here ahead of us. There's a double right-hand turn blaze here on the tree. And this is where you leave the old road and start down the, well, maybe part of it was old road. I don't know, maybe the road went straight. But anyhow, this is where you turn off and head downhill. And this is where it gets a little bit steeper and a little more difficult in spots. Not horrible, but definitely you want to watch your footing, especially like today when it's wet and muddy from the rain yesterday afternoon. And it's not bad. I'll film just a little bit of this as we start down. There we go. We made the first drop off. And it's not too bad till you get around where you start having to deal with the switchbacks and stuff down the steepest part of it. Okay, you can see the blaze on the tree and the trail going ahead. I'll cut the camera off and catch you in a few. All right, well, I'm not totally sure this is the spot I had in mind, but you can get a glimpse off through here of the view. Again, if leaf off, it would be even better. You can just barely see Poosh Mountain Road way down there. And way over toward where the White River goes through. Anyhow, if I find a better spot, I'll be sure and get it. This is what the trail looks like along in through here. It's running along the side of the hill, so you're not losing much elevation along here. Yeah, let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's the spot I was more looking for. There you go. There's a good view. You can see a long ways. I don't know what that knob is sticking up way in the distance there, but pretty view out through the countryside. Anyhow, we're back on the trail, working our way along the hillside, getting ready here in a little bit to start the downhill spiral. Not really a spiral, but zigzag, I guess is a better term for it. Anyhow, as you can see the trail ahead. I'll shut the camera off for now and see you in a few. Okay, first little area just to watch. There's really not a blaze here that I can see, but your trail actually goes down here to the right off the edge of this ledge. Now you can hop down off the ledge, or you can come up here to this end of it and go down this way. There we go. Now we start. I'll film just a little bit of this here. And another ledge you got to get down from. Yeah. There. All right. Now we're starting to get a little bit more of the downhill going. Okay, there we go, working our way down. I'll shut the camera off for a minute, catch you in a few. Wanted to show this. I showed a little piece of something like this on the other part of this trail. You can see here the weeds are starting to grow up. So if you give this another, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, you can see the faint trail going through here, but it will be a little harder to find, and you'll be wading weeds here within a month, let's say, or so. So anyhow, nothing too unusual about that, but just be aware that while a lot of this looks to be relatively weed clear, there are a few places along it that looks like the weed crop has got a good start. Okay, you see the trail going on ahead. I'll shut the camera off and catch you in a few. Okay, wanted to just catch this. This is, you can see the blazes on the tree ahead of us there. Right turn. This is the start of the switchbacks. And going down. The only bad thing today, these wouldn't be near bad, but with the mud, yeah, you got to be just a little more careful. You could slide and leave some skin behind. It's one of the reasons I brought both poles along today. I figured this might be a little steeper and a little slicker. I normally hike with just one, but if there's a lot of uphill or the conditions like this, I'll bring both. Okay. Well, we're around the first curve. And here's the next one right in front of us. I'm probably not going to film all of these, but get a couple of them here so you can kind of see. All right. Okay, well, we're down the first couple. I'll switch the camera off and catch you in a little bit. Just thought I'd catch just a little bit of this here. You're coming down the side of the mountain a little bit. Got some rock features here along the way. A would-be bluff line, maybe, if you want to call it that. And then here, your trail goes down through it. There we go. And another switchback here. I know the camera microphone will not catch it. There's some wild turkeys somewhere not too far away because I just heard them gobbling. Okay. And on we go. I'll shut the camera off and catch you in a few. And another short peek at another one of the switchbacks. Again, I haven't counted them. I think there's 6 or 7 of them maybe in this section of trail. And again, they're not bad. They're a little tricky in spots today, a couple of them, because of the wetness and the mud. But other than that, they do make it a little easier. I wouldn't want to do this straight up this hillside. So anyhow, you see the trail. I'll shut the camera off, catch you in a few. You get a little bit of a squeeze from the bluff here, between the bluff and the tree, or the ledge, I guess, more so than a bluff. There we go. Okay, and on down we go. See you in a little bit. I thought I'd get one last shot of the trail as we're winding our way down. We're getting down pretty close to the end now. So this is kind of a pretty little area in through here, all green. And then we've got, oh, not very far at all probably now. We'll be dropping down and be coming out of the highway. So anyhow, I'll cut the camera off and catch you at the end. Bye. Okay, well, here we are at the end of the Ozark Highland Trail Sylamore section from Brush Creek to Twin Creek. And that is Poof Mountain Road. You can see ahead of us there. So, we've got another section done. The next section we have to do starts right across there and runs all the way back in there. I think it's about 7 miles up to Matney Ridge, where it joins into 341 there and crosses to go up Matney Knob. We've got Matney Knob already filmed and out there, so I've just got to do this section up to Matney Ridge. So anyhow, that's it for today. See you later.